Morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are, and welcome to Millionaires Are Made. This episode is on mental health and therapy. It's going to be an interesting one. We got three amazing guests. They're going to give you simple tips on how to improve your mental health with therapy. A couple things before that. First off, we finally have a sponsor. Pharmaceuticals. If you are in Denver, scan that for a free gift. They are an awesome little locally owned cannabis shop. And they are here to sponsor us today, so that's awesome, so we can keep the show going. Second thing, if you want to be a guest, please, we love guests. Anyone and everyone has information to share. You are way smarter than you may think, so feel free to sign up, ask us questions, and we'll tell you when and where you would be the best guest. But we love having guests and always need more. And the third thing, we need more topics. We can only come up with so many, but we're trying to cover anything and everything that you would like to know. So please give us a comment, give us a message, and let us know. Without further ado, we're going to start ahead on mental health and therapy. And here's my tip. For therapy, sometimes a lot of it is inconvenience. You don't want to have to drive to the therapist's office. You don't want to have to schedule a meeting. You're busy, all this. Nowadays, you can get therapy very simply online, and it opens up your array of therapists. So my last time doing therapy, I had a therapist in Germany, so it's very different. And to me, I thought that was actually a really big benefit. Rather than have someone that's in the same culture, doing the same thing, living the same stuff, it was nice to have a very, very outside perspective, just on general life and humanity. So it was really nice, and that never would have happened if I had to go fly to Germany every single day. So for me, my tip is to find an online therapist. Try it out, see if it's for you. It may not be, but it makes it convenient, easy. You just open up your laptop. You can do therapy in the comfort of your home or wherever you would like. The website I use is betterhelp.com. They did a pretty good job. You can switch your therapist. If you don't like it, you can move on to the next one. And they have all types of therapy covered in one spot with, I think they have a couple thousand therapists available, which is a lot more than your local area. So that would be my tip. If you're looking to improve your mental health using therapy, check online and find one of the online companies. See if you can do it there. All right. Now that that's all over, we're going to bring out our first guest here. Good morning or early morning, middle of the night. How are you, Rajeswari?
Hi, I'm good. So like I said, it's midnight my time, but I'm hoping the right things will come true.
And you are in Singapore, correct?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. I've got a little question for you. Who are you?
So I'm a Reiki practitioner. I'm well-versed in soulmate Reiki and I do money Reiki. But, I kind of want to talk a bit more about my journey on becoming a Reiki practitioner because I first learned of it in 2012. I went for a past life regression, and it was one of the things that came up. And my first experience with Reiki was that it felt like a cult because I didn't know what was going on. Everyone was just placing like hands on each other's bodies, and I was like, okay, I don't get this and stuff. So that was 2012, and there wasn't that much information available. But I spent like 10 years reading all these like everything I could on like metaphysical stuff. Probably read about 100 books, and I was like, okay, I really like this too. And I only returned to it like a decade later when my friend passed away last year in January. And
sorry to hear that.
No, it's okay. I realized it was part of my journey. Yeah, like they call it a grief initiation. So he passed away, and I realized that I could go to a therapist, talk about it, and I wouldn't feel good. And they'll be like, how are you feeling? And I'm like, I don't feel good. And I don't necessarily like shift from therapy alone. So I went back to Reiki because it was such a healing modality. Just like, it's okay, you can cry. Like, let's just have Reiki energy, and, you will get to a place where you feel better about it. So yeah, that's why I got back into Reiki actually. And so what I support my clients with is working through grief, pain, relationship issues, because I went through like the ex-husband had an affair, and then I worked on like the divorce, and very recently I'm working on like all my dating struggles. So yeah, that's my area of forte.
Okay, so you kind of answered this, but let's ask it anyways. If I wanted to improve my mental health through therapy, what advice would you give me?
I think the best thing that I can say is to be very grounded in your self-worth and your self-love. Like I found that I got so caught up in like, what's everyone going to think of me? I'm like 30 plus. I'm still figuring out my housing situation, got divorced. And I had to like, take a step back and like, let's disregard what everyone's thinking and just be super grounded in my self-worth. So one of the things that I have been doing is Morning Pages by Julia Cameron, where
Okay.
she says to do like a brain dump, just dump all your thoughts onto like a piece of paper.
Okay.
3 pieces of paper. She's like, don't stop writing until you have like 3 A4 pieces.
Please.
Fill your thoughts. So she's like, we kind of she said that we either create drama in our lives or we create drama on the page. And she's like, just like vomit it out. And I was like, okay, that's such a cool thing. So that's the tip I want to share.
I like that a lot. Create drama in your life or create drama on the page.
Yes.
That's good. All right. So you talked a little bit about your journey. So let's kind of, do you have a specific moment that advice was taught to you or you learned it, or how did you really get into that advice?
Actually, the moment like I felt like was useful, the most recent one was like in terms of my business. I was associating a lot of my self-worth to my business. And I kind of like worked this out through a therapist myself, that my self-worth is like this and my business is this, and I can't like relate the two together. It's not like my business does well and then my self-worth increases or vice versa. So basically my coach also reminded me that my self-worth needs to be like solid. Even if my business like goes up or goes down, like this self-worth can only go up. It can't like, change. So make sure that this is really constant. And I found that it was helpful for me to do the 3 A4 pages or to spend like an hour every day meditating, figure out who you are as a person and don't let the external circumstances like define you.
So you spend about an hour doing that every day, writing the 3 to 8 pages?
Yes. I don't know why it takes me an hour, but it takes me that hour. And she calls it Morning Pages.
That sounds about right. That's a lot of writing.
So Morning Pages to do it like the minute you wake up, because you can get out of like the alpha or the beta stages or something.
What do you do with the pages when you write it down? Do you keep them?
I do keep them, but there are people I know who like burn them or like they shred it. Like, so some people feel that it's very therapeutic to do that, and if that works for you, then do that. But I do keep it so that I can have a sense of like how my journey was throughout the year.
Very cool. So it's kind of a self-therapy, like a therapy assignment. You got to go home and do that.
Yes.
Very cool. Awesome. All right. Well, that was great information. I like that. Love the create drama in your life or on the page. That's pretty cool. We're gonna move on to our next guest. Thank you so much, Rajeswari, and we will talk to you in just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Veronika.
Hello.
How are you doing? Tell us where you're from.
I am from Czech Republic.
Czech Republic.
It used to be Czechoslovakia. Nobody knows the name of my country. So
now,
it's okay.
I have a good friend, Milos, that lives there. I have quite a few actually that live there. Do you appreciate being called Czechia, or do you want just Czech Republic?
Me personally, I love Czech Republic more because Czechia is a really, really new name, and everybody is, confusing it with some countries which are not currently in war. So Czech Republic is better for me, but up to you.
Everyone I know there, the good friends of mine all say Czech Republic. In fact, a couple of them get mad if you say Czechia. All right, Veronika, I've got a little question for you. Who are you?
Thank you for asking. I am soul reader now. I used to be project manager in IT company and also musician, but in the middle of lockdown when everything fell apart, I started to receive intuitive messages, and I decided that I will leave my corporate job and follow my dreams. So I am soul reader now. I read people's souls. I see past lives and family lines and soul purpose. And most importantly, I help people see and feel the gifts they bring to this earth. So that's it.
Wow. All right. We're going to clip that. Cool. All right. Well, I've got a nice long question for you. If I wanted to improve my mental health with therapy, what would you recommend to me?
There are so many things out there, but if you want to, I guess it depends if you are more the person of words or the person for visuals, because therapy can go in many ways and it can unlock you in many ways. And for me personally, what I do use every day is to write nice stories about topics in my life which feel a little bit heavier. So, for example, when I struggled with my self-esteem, I would every morning write just a few sentences about what is good about me, what I appreciate about myself, about my life, what I'm grateful for. And it would be just few sentences, just little story. And if you like colors more and visuals more, I would draw a picture of the topic which I would be struggling with. So, for example, money or my tummy. You know, when I felt like I was fat, I would color my body. Not my body, but I would draw a picture of my body in the most colorful, vibrant ways, like full of flowers, full of hearts. I would express my love and gratitude in colors towards this part of my body which I used to not like. And the colors work on our subconscious level in many miraculous way. So it would clear the subconscious part of me which would hate my tummy or whatever. It would eventually help me feel better about myself, about my body and money and anything basically.
That is cool. All right. Very interesting. So I guess what on your life journey, how did you learn this? You quit your corporate life, you went to soul reading. What made that decision happen?
Well, I started struggling with really strong depression when I was 15. And when I was 19, I had suicidal depression. So I saw it in my family that my family members, some of them needed to go to hospital with their mental health. And I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to go there. So I made a decision that I will do whatever it takes to help myself to overcome depression and anxiety on my own. And I did many healing modalities, including Reiki, including talking to God and conversations, affirmations and everything. But what helped me the most was going to my childhood and forgiving everything and everybody, including myself, for everything which happened back then. So I think that the pivotal point of that was I cleared so many layers in my mind and my body that once I felt I could read souls, it felt very natural. I could tune into other people's feelings and their energetic field, because I was through so many layers in my life, in my own body, that it was really easy. I think the pivotal moment was when I was deciding which energy in me to believe. And one was saying, "Hey, you cannot read souls. You are a piece of shit. You don't see anything." And the other one was saying, the soul reading is full of love. You can see people's souls through the lens of love and the highest truth. And I decided to follow this loving, truthful feeling. And the moment I decided that, I could receive more and more information about people's souls. So once I named this feeling to the other person, "Hey, I can see pink clouds," or "I can see you in the previous lifetime as a princess," or something, and it was named in this loving feeling, they would say, "Yeah, this is what I feel too. This is exactly what I feel and what I recognize in my life," or "This is related to topic I'm solving right now." So I guess the highest truth for me is love. And that was the pivotal moment when I followed this truth or this loving feeling. I found out that this was the journey for me.
All right, real quick, I've got one question for you. Can you tell if someone's good or evil?
Not on the first sight.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Veronika. I'm going to put you back in the green room, and I'm going to bring out our third guest. All right, everyone. We've got one more guest here. Hey, Vicky. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm doing good. Thank you.
I've got a quick question for you. Who are you?
My name is Vicky. I'm from the Netherlands, but I live in Spain, and I'm a mental health coach. I help people finding their inner peace, actually.
Inner peace.
Inner peace, because that's the key to happiness, if you ask me.
I like that. Very cool. Okay. I've got a more direct question for you. If I wanted to improve my mental health with therapy, what quick tip would you give me?
With therapy, yeah, actually search for someone who suits you in, but most of all, yeah, ask yourself that you need to have very clear what is the problem and where it's coming from, and then search for someone who is exactly in that area, because mental health, it's so big, you know what I mean? So actually start with yourself by writing down like what is where I'm worried about, what I'm feeling, and where is this coming from, and what I need to solve this problem, and then search for who suits in this problem to help me in that way actually.
Very cool. I like that. So a lot of clarity on what the problem is and attack it that way. What on your life journey led you to this advice? How did you get to where you are?
My life was very challenging. It's too big story to tell in a few minutes. But from life and death, like I lost my mother at a young age, at the Alzheimer at a young age. I lost my own life, almost that experience by myself. I was very sick for myself. I was, as a young child, already very spiritual. And I was always someone who want to understand things. Like if things happening to me, like, or if I notice I don't feel nice, I'm going to ask myself where this is coming from, and I'm going to search for all the solutions what I can do about that. And I want to understand anything. Because, for example, when my mother gets sick, I wanted to understand why this happened, where this is coming from. I observe everything very much since I was a little child, because I just wanted to understand why are people like how they are, why things going on like they go on in the world, why people get sick, why I feel like this, what I can do about that. So I'm just a very curious person. I want to understand things, because for me, if you understand things, then it's easier to handle it, and that's how you find your inner peace. That's why I say, if you want to improve your mental health, ask yourself where it's coming from. Start with question yourself things to make it clear for yourself, and then it's more easy to find a solution or find the right way, because it's for everyone is different.
Very cool. I love it. Thanks so much, Vicky. All right, we're going to move on to our next part of the show. So we've heard from 3 awesome guests all around the world this episode, 3 very unique different ways to improve your mental health with therapy. And now we're going to listen to all of them talk about each other's tip. We'll bring everyone back out here. And we will start. Rajeswari, can you very quickly refresh our memory of what your tip was?
Yes, my tip was it's by Julia Cameron, to do morning pages, which involves writing 3 A4 pages of your thoughts. So she claims that when you do this, you will clear a lot of conditioning, like other people's thoughts, other people's opinions. And at the same time, she claims that at some point your intuition will drop in. Like there's a point where you're like, oh, this is not me. This is a higher power speaking through me. So I really like that.
All right. Veronika, what are your thoughts on that tip?
I think that I've already heard about this method, and I really like it. I've heard that it helped many people around me. So I think it's a great idea.
And Vicky, what do you think about it?
Sorry, I missed the question from, I need to answer the question about what I thought from.
What you think about Rajeswari's tip? Rajeswari, maybe refresh her one quick time again.
Sorry, because I lost it.
No worries. Is to do 3 A4 size pages where you just write it every morning. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm confusing with your name. So I was like, it's your advice or your advice? Writing, I totally agree. I totally agree, because writing is so powerful. People don't realize how powerful writing is. Because for me, it's like there is so much going on in our head always. But when you start writing, you start finding answers naturally. Like it's like surprising, like, oh, it's like you're having a conversation with yourself, with your own soul, because things are getting clear when you write things down. So for me, I recommend everyone writing. It's one of the most powerful things. So I totally agree. Yeah, super powerful.
Love it. Hey, Veronika, can you really quickly refresh us what your tip was?
Yeah, it was either writing a little story or drawing your topic in a very nice way, the way you would write or draw a love letter.
The way you would write or draw a love letter. Vicky, what are your thoughts on that tip?
That's lovely, really lovely, because I'm a very spiritual person, and that's also something about go back to inside to your own soul, and then also it surprises you what's coming out because it's connecting with you, with the real you from inside. I love it. Yeah, I should say I can't give a better advice on that actually, because even if you think, people think maybe, yeah, but I can't draw, it's nothing for me, but it's so powerful because you just start, you think, oh, you find yourself in a way. You think, oh, so yeah, I love it.
Awesome. Thank you. Rajeswari, what do you think about Veronika's tip?
And I really like the story she shared about the tummy and how she'll draw a picture of herself and color in the tummy. And I was like, I have to ask her, like, what does the color mean? Because you said that the colors are subconscious also, right? I was wondering if you could share a bit more about that.
Yeah, actually, the colors work with subconscious with a different part of the brain than the words. So if we have any subconscious beliefs about our tummy, like you are always fat and you are ugly and so on, the colors actually help to improve this part of your brain. So you feel like your relationship towards your tummy is improving, and you don't have to know exact words. It's just the colors help to clear the subconscious layer and help you feel more love to this part of yourself.
I like it. I like it.
Lovely.
Yeah, I really like it because like I was just sharing when I was like grieving my friends. Sometimes I couldn't tell them like why I'm sad. I'm sad lah. Like I'm just sad and I couldn't really tell them like what's happening. So I love what you said where I don't need words. I can just use like the colors to figure out what's happening in my body.
Yeah. Thank you.
Vicky, can you quickly refresh us on what your tip was?
It's like ask yourself where it's coming from, why you feel like how you feel, and then search for the solution. Like, sorry, where it's coming from, how you feel, because it's come all from childhood traumas. That's the thing, and then search for what are the solutions to solve this problem, because there are actually 1,000 solutions, but for everyone, what for me works don't work for somebody else. So start with yourself, where it's coming from, and then search for, okay, what are the solutions, and then pick one or just try something that, you need to try to find yourself. Maybe you need to try 10 things, but it's a bit confusing, but I hope you understand what I mean.
Rajeswari, what do you think about that tip?
The root problem.
I'm thinking because what if I don't know where it's coming from?
Actually, I think everyone knows where it's coming from because you don't realize, but if you going to, like writing down, when you write things down, when you need to make a decision, for example, when you're going to start writing things down, things get clear. Because for me, it's like if I feel whatever I feel, I'm going to ask myself where this is coming from. And if you're going to think about it or write down, start really focus on it, you find it. We all know, because it all actually comes from childhood traumas. We all know, because you think it's about much people don't know themselves. But this is the best way to get to know yourself and to solve the root problem. And that's, I think we all know. That's the key.
It's really interesting, but because Reiki works on past lives, and like Veronika shared that she also can see like past lives, like people are princesses and stuff. So it was just me like trying to think like, what if this person doesn't know what the problem is? It's like, oh, I had a fantastic childhood.
I think everyone. We have all. The one has a bigger back than the other, but we all have childhood traumas. We all have things. Maybe it's only that you feel insecure about yourself, but insecurity, or when you have jealous feelings, for example, just something little, it's coming from something. You know what I mean? It's all from there is something happening in your past, or maybe just in your relationship from last year. It's also possible.
No.
And it hurts you, and that's coming from. So for me, it's like, it's all about everything comes from the inside. It all starts with a problem, was creating with hurting, with pain. So yeah, if you start searching, then you find, you know what I mean? Yeah, if you search and you
Yes.
find.
I love that. Thank you for sharing.
Veronika, what are your thoughts on Vicky's tip?
Yeah, I think it can be hard for some people to really know or understand where this is coming from, especially if they've been through childhood trauma, as you mentioned. But I think the good part is to trying to find a solution, because focusing on solutions, like finding the ways out of your situation, is always really good, even if you ask your best friend or people on the street. I feel really shit today. What should I do? I mean, really approaching this problem from the point of view, like, what solutions I have here, it's still going to improve your mental health, at least step by step, because your body feels safer with you. That's
Yeah, because the reason I say this is because for me it's like I can't give a tip from if you want to have a tip for how to improve your mental health, do this. Because we are all different people. What works for me don't work for somebody else. And there are 1,000 solutions, 1,000 things you can do. And even if we have a kind of a similar story, then still what for me works don't work for you. You know what I mean? So that's what I always ask for. Look at the person, at yourself. Who are you? Where you think it's coming from? Look at yourself, and then just have a conversation. Start having a conversation with yourself, actually, and then you're gonna find answers. Because I noticed that not much people know themselves. It's super difficult, but that's why actually I help people with it, get to know themselves, because that's how you build self-love and self-esteem, and then it's the root problem. From there, everything can flow. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's deep. I know it's deep, but yeah, that's what I'm for. Super.
I love it. I love it. All right, guys, we're coming to my favorite part of the show. We've got to work together to come up with a daily challenge that takes less than 5 minutes a day, costs $0, and anybody in the world can do it. So what would we challenge people to do to improve their mental health and therapy? Any ideas?
For sure.
For me, it would be start your day before you start with any other idea. What are you grateful for?
Gratitude. Love it. All right. Anyone else have another idea they want to pop out?
Yes, for me it's like look at the mirror and look at yourself and tell yourself, what are you seeing? Who are you seeing? What you like about yourself, what you maybe don't like about yourself, and other things that you don't like. Work on it. That's how you build self-love. Actually, it's super easy. And if it's very heavy to look at yourself, just write down all the positive things, all the negative things, or negative things that you don't like so much, and then do everything to make it better. And it's super easy. But especially every day, look in the mirror and tell yourself what you love about yourself, because there are much things, and you're going to find out that there are much more things than you actually realize. Self-love.
I like it. Rajeswari, any ideas?
Yeah, I was gonna say gratitude. Like, don't get out of bed until you are like you feel super good about the day. But there's this thing that I'm struggling with, like my self worth. Like, I was sharing how if my business does well, then I feel good. If it doesn't, then I don't feel so good. So my tip is to come up with a brag sheet, BRAG, and to write down like 10 accomplishments that you have already done. So like, for me, I'm a teacher. I went to teaching school. Before that, I went to like Thai school, and I got all my certificates. So find 10 things that you've already done in your life. And every time you feel low, like just look at these things and like, oh yeah, this is what I've already accomplished. Like I can take on the next challenge, like bring it on. So get into a space where you feel you can take on challenges.
All right. So let's see if we can combine all those. So if we have less than 5 minutes, maybe we write down like 3 things we accomplished the day before, 3 things we love about ourselves with Vicky, and maybe 3 things that we're thankful for in general with Veronika. That should take less than 5 minutes, right? Hopefully.
Yes.
Do you guys like that challenge?
amazing combination, if you ask me.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. I would sign for that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm challenging you guys. So you guys are going to join me. All right. So 3 things you are thankful for. 3 things you love about yourself. And 3 things you accomplished. And they can be as small as you want or as large as you want. Whatever makes you feel better. And that's our official daily challenge. Awesome. Well, guys, I am going to say goodbye to you. Thank you so much for coming out. We're about to wrap up the show, and we'll talk in a little bit.
Thanks for having me.
And that there ends another episode of Millionaires Are Made. Today, we went over mental health and therapy. We did a lot of self-therapy things. We've got an awesome daily challenge. Every day, write down 3 things you're thankful for, 3 things that you accomplished the day before, and 3 things that you love about yourself. And hopefully you'll watch your mental health grow. I'm doing some self-therapy type tricks. I also recommend it if you do go to a therapist. Online ones have a much wider variety, but there's also great ones near you, I'm sure. Just do some research and find the right therapist. I hope you guys all learned a little something. We had awesome guests all around the world: Singapore, Prague, Czech Republic, in Spain / the Netherlands.